The Miami Dolphins select
Oh, what's up? Welcome, Fins Faithful. Welcome to the War Room. Miami Dolphins have a new regime, clear vision, real momentum heading up into the draft in April. So the question isn't whether Miami can improve, it's how to build this thing the right way. Today, we're going to break down this draft class, give a little Miami's outlook in the draft and the most realistic options at pick 11 and 43, and what actually makes sense and what doesn't. And that'll tie it all in. It'll lead to the main event. We'll have our mock draft 1.0, early mock, full 7-round mock to fix the Dolphins, where every pick, every decision, and every direction is put to the test. And to help us break it all down, we're joined by draft analyst Jacob Infante from PFN and WC Windy City Gridiron, one of the best guys covering the draft out there. And so, as always, I have my co-host, Mr. Jason Sarney, with me. Sarney, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing well, George. We got the Senior Bowls past us. We got Jacob Infante on. We're going to do a little bit of a mock draft, so I can't wait for that. And we're going to make this our 1.0, our first official mock on the War Room. So
we're going to do a few. But we're going to tie it all together.
The next couple of weeks and months coming up for sure.
We got a few. It should be fun. We'll all wear different hats. And we'll get into, and at the end, maybe we'll get a little Dolphins news. Some of the guys they sign at the end here and some of the coaching stuff. But let's bring in our guest. How about that, Jason? That's Mr. Jacob Infante. Jacob, thank you for spending some time with us this evening. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. It's a fun time of year. It's a busy time of year, so I'm loving every second of it. I mean, the draft is what I live for, so I'm grateful to be here talking about it with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here on the Fins Faithful War. We appreciate it. We just had the Senior Bowl. I guess we'll start at the top here. Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, before we get into the draft, Jacob, obviously a lot of changes have happened in Miami. Coaches, there is a new regime, GM, head coach, a whole staff. Real quick before we dive in, what are your thoughts about what the Dolphins have been doing front office and coaching-wise?
I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. So from an outsider's perspective, I think that from a front office perspective, the Packers is probably one of the more stable organizations you can pick from. I mean, they've been consistently good for a long time. And if you want to build a good, like a very good team for a long time, this is one of those franchises that you look to, along with, like the Ravens and the Steelers and now the Rams, 49, places like that, where they've been really good for a long time. I usually think that's the right approach. I mean, the Bears did that with, taking Ryan Poles from the Chiefs all these years ago, and it took a little bit to get going, but now they're starting to see that the Bears are, picking things up. So I think that going from that approach of, this guy knows what it takes to build a winner and what it takes to sustain a winner, I think is the right approach. Hafley's a very good defensive coach. I think that those last couple games, people tend to overanalyze a little bit because, you didn't have Micah Parsons in those last few games, and then it started to fall off a little bit too. But even last year, I'd say 2024, before they even had Micah Parsons, you're looking at, an ascending defense that got some pretty dang good play out of a lot of young players. So I think that it's great for Miami, who, they need a couple upgrades on their defense. I'm curious to see too how it plays out from an offensive perspective too, because as an outsider, I don't know what the QB situation is going to look like. I know that it was pretty big to figure out exactly who's going to be calling plays on offense. Bobby Slowick has showed some really encouraging flashes when he was with the Texans a couple of years ago. So it should be interesting for sure. I think they're going about it the right way. I think that a reset of sorts is needed. Maybe not a full rebuild because they have some good young talent on that roster, but Yeah, I think they're going about it the right way. Now it's just a matter of if they're gonna execute it properly.
Yeah. You mentioned young talent. Who are some of the guys you like on this team? I mean, Chop Robinson, the guy, we had last year's draft. Quickly, your thoughts on that? Some of the young players. Who do you look as, last year's draft specifically here? Kenneth Grant, Savi Anaya, Dante Trader, Jordan Phillips. And who are some of the young pieces that you do like here?
Yeah, so I'd probably start with Chop Robinson. I think he's a guy, I mean, obviously coming out of Penn State, he was someone who brought just tremendous athletic and physical prowess. I came away really impressed with him coming out of school. Uh Shown some encouraging flashes during his time in Miami. Hasn't been like a world beater necessarily, but my understanding from an outside perspective is, he's been able to be a solid rotational contributor. I'd be interested to see if next year, if he ends up taking like a bigger role in the defense. Say perhaps that, I mean, because they traded Jalen Phillips. I don't know exactly what's going on with Bradley Chubb in his situation, but I think it could open up situations for opportunities rather for Chop Robinson to get more playing time and make more plays. Kenneth Grant, I'm not, I was a big fan of his heading into this past draft. I know things were a little bit up and down with him as things were for Savinea, but I think that you look at those two and be like, all right, maybe, a little bit of a learning curve for those two, but they're both extremely talented players. Like Savinea, I think is eventually going to settle into be a solid starting guard at the next level. And I think Kenneth Grant has the raw athletic talent along with the strength, along with the pad level and leverage. And then if you factor in guys like Jordan Brooks making plays, Zach Sealer as a defensive lineman is somebody who I think doesn't get enough credit from a league wide perspective as he gets too. So I'm looking mostly on the defensive side of the ball. I know they have a couple moves that they still need to make, especially at corner, and I'm sure we'll get to that. But
Yeah.
it's not like this is a team that's devoid of talent. I mean, there are a couple of players on defense where it's like, all right, we can work with this. And then obviously the skill position players are really good in Miami. I don't know. You guys would know better than I would what the Tyreek Hill situation is going to look like. But I mean,
He gone.
He
he
gone.
gone.
He gone.
With Tua.
Yeah.
With Tua. Hopefully.
Yep. He's out. Tua's out. But yeah, even then, like you still have Jalen Waddle. You still have A-Chain to work with too. I mean, like I said, the cupboard's not bare. So, those are when I'm looking at the roster from, an outsider's perspective, those are some of the pieces I like. And I'm curious now to see how they approach the draft because they've been, they strung together a couple wins down the stretch with Mike McDaniel. Now coming in with more of a defensive minded head coach, I'm curious to see how the offense stays up with Slowick calling the shots. What they end up doing at quarterback. Again, you guys would know better, but if they cut Tyreek or if they trade him, whatever the contract situation looks like on that end, there are moves that need to be made, obviously, and positions that need to be addressed. But I think that compared to maybe some other teams who are in a rebuilding situation, like say the Jets, for example. I think that the Dolphins, at least what they already have on the roster, are a lot more well equipped, I should say, to become good down the stretch. And I know obviously teams don't want to just be good; they want to be great. But I think that given how the last two seasons have gone for Miami, I think that that's a benchmark that you need to reach. It's like, all right, we're at least in the playoff hunt, making potentially a wild card spot. Maybe not this year, but the next year after that. So I know that's my long-winded answer of saying, obviously there's a lot of work to be done on that roster, but they have some pieces and the cupboard's not completely bare there.
Yeah.
Well said, Jacob. And obviously we're a couple of days past the Senior Bowl. So the question is, what risers have you seen coming out of that process? And you can feel free to start with Max Ihenachor.
we know who Sarni is going to be banging the table for. Maybe he's there around too. So
that's my guy.
We'll get to the mock. It's going to be fun. But go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah. So I'll start with your guy first. I think Ihenachor, you look at his how big he is and how well he moves, I think that that's going to be enticing to a lot of NFL teams. And I wasn't down there in Mobile, but getting to see the clips and everything. He looked really good down in Mobile, and then watching the tape as well. You see, like I think it's a soccer background. I have to go back and check my
And
notes, but
basketball, soccer and basketball.
soccer and basketball. So it shows in his footwork and in terms of his ability to change direction in pass pro, the redirect ability, his ability to maintain proper foot speed when he's going through his kick slide. I think that shows up really well too. You see, the size, you see the length and everything, and he's another one of those guys where it's like, okay, maybe his pads are a little too high sometimes. Maybe his, for a guy who's listed at 330 coming out of the draft or coming out of Arizona State, maybe he's not as physical as you'd expect for a guy that big, but players who are that big who move as well as he does don't grow on trees. And I think, he's got good length. When he lands his strikes properly, he's very tough to shed just because of the pure mass that he brings to the table. So I think he's a very high upside type of guy. I think he'll end up day 2. Not necessarily round 1. I think he's a little bit too raw for that at this stage. But, we've seen definitely offensive tackles with worse tape end up drafted pretty high. So I think that if you see guys who just frankly aren't very good, but they have a lot of they're big and fast or whatever, and they go round 3, I see no reason that Iheanacho, a guy who's had maybe a little bit more substance on his tape to go off of, being a 2.5-year starter in college. I see no reason why he can't go round 2. So, I'm sure we'll get to that too. And I know that tackle's a position that Miami needs to, figure out a little bit more. So that'll be interesting too to see whenever we do our mock if that's a route we go down. But yeah, I think as far as upside goes, if you're not taking a tackle at 11, then you're looking in round 2 and you're looking for guys where it's like, all right, do I believe that they can become impact starters? I think Iheanacho maybe a little lower floor than some of those guys who might be available, but definitely one of the highest, if not the highest ceiling out of that bunch.
You mentioned the tackles. I'm curious because I just got into we do a bunch of scouting reports and player cards. By the way, this is not a plug. Check out the Tai Simpson video I did, scouting report that I just did day before yesterday. Really good. It's not a plug. I just hope you guys enjoy it. Check out Tai Simpson. We got all 22 breakdown and scouting card. Quickly, the tackles at the top. I'm just curious because Francis Moaga and then you have Fano. They're really close for me. I'm curious. They're 2 different types. It's what flavor ice cream do you like? I have them close. Where do you have them?
It's interesting you bring that up because I also have both of those guys really close on my board too.
Yeah. I'm struggling,
Yeah, like it's down to like the decimals, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's so I have Maui Noah 1, I have Fano 2. Those are my top 2 tackles in this class. So I have and obviously, the Miami ties with, Francis going to Miami and then, him being a potential draft pick for the Dolphins, it's a fun story. But I also think that if you get him at 11, that's really good value because I could see him going as high as number 3 overall to the Cardinals. But it's tough to tell because exactly like you said, it's, different flavors. It's would you rather have more of a power base type of, okay, maybe he doesn't have elite length, but he has a really strong anchor. He's a solid athlete. He's a smart football player. Or Fano, who's a little bit lighter. He doesn't have necessarily the mass or the nasty demeanor, but he's more athletic and, can move a little bit better in pass pro. It just depends on what you prefer at tackle. I think Francis is the higher floor, so that's the guy that I'm going with. I feel safer and okay, I think he's going to be a good tackle. Even if he might not run as fast of a like a 10-yard split or something like that, or his agility might not be as great on tape. But yeah, I have those 2. Caleb Lomu, also in Utah, not too far behind. It maybe not as close as 1 and 2, but it's not, to me, it's not a super far drop off from number 3. He's another guy, I think, similar to his teammate Fano, where, really good athlete as well. I think, both those Utah tackles are just really quick feet in pass protection. You move around well. They're coordinated blocking on the move as run blockers. So much of it comes down to footwork, really, positioning yourself properly, rolling your hips through contact, making sure that you're opening up running lanes for your teammates or whatever the case may be. So those are my top three guys. 4 and 5, I'm going back and forth too as well. I don't anticipate there'll be, strong options for Miami at 11, but say, hey, maybe if they trade down and they still want to go with an offensive tackle, Caden Proctor out of Alabama is an interesting one.
That's all work. He's an all-earth player. That's upside risk. I mean, Jason, this guy's 360 pounds, 6'7", can move. I mean, he's
I agree. Too early. Yeah. I mean, great play. Too early for 11, but it would be very interesting, Jacob, to see if X amount of players are gone, including those two tackles that you mentioned up top. If Caleb Downs is gone, Sonny Styles is gone. If John Eric Sullivan wants to trade down, get more capital, he's absolutely one of those players you would circle in the back end of the first or middle of the first.
Yeah. Where do you have? He's back into the first for you, right? Proctor?
Yeah, Proctor's in the back end of the first. I think him, and I will say Monroe Freeling out of Georgia is somebody who's coming up closely.
You just read my mind. I just did film on him. I like him. I like him a lot, Jacob.
Yeah. And in all honesty, I watched a little bit of him before he declared for the draft just to be like, all right, maybe he will. I just want to do my due diligence, but he did end up declaring early, and, go back and watch more of him. And it's like, all right, again, here's another guy who can move, bigger than Fano, bigger than Lomu, not as big as Proctor. I mean, that's a really high bar to reach because Proctor's a freaking giant, but I think Freeling is more, he plays under control a lot more than Proctor. Cause I think Proctor sometimes he's a bull in a china shop. He's, freakishly big, strong. He can move. He's explosive for his size. Sometimes I feel like just the footwork isn't he's a little hesitant in exactly like, okay, how far out do I space, my kick slide, stuff like that. What angles do I take when I'm a down blocker or reach blocker in the run game? Freeling, I don't think that's as big of an issue. I mean, he's a guy who's 6'7", about 315, but he's nimble in pass protection. He's someone as a run defender, I think he does a good job of sealing off defenders. Especially, you have him as a reach blocker, get him out. I think he can, take control of the edge with his size and then have the coordination and the mobility to, adjust his footwork and position himself to a point where the edge rushers just simply can't get to the running back. So Freeling, I want to watch maybe like 2-3 more games of him before the draft ends up coming around, but he's someone I'm a really big fan of too. And the more that I watch him, even if the play strength it's good enough, it's not elite necessarily. It's not like a, Francis level of, strong anchor type.
The upper body needs a little development. But yeah, no, go ahead and finish. I was just like, I don't know. And I promise we didn't talk before this, but like, it's cool. He has a basketball background. He's got great length. He's a great athlete. I mean, this guy, he can play above his draft slot the more I watch him. And I agree with you. He's someday I go, I need to watch a few more games because, like, am I missing something? That was kind of what I came away with, Jacob. But yeah, he's an intriguing player. I agree. I couldn't agree more. I agree with your evaluation 100% on him. All right. So let's get into, specifically we'll get into the Dolphins and what kind of players in this class. But I just want to shout out the chat. Guys, the chat's been active. Love you guys. Make sure, please, thumbs up. Hit the little thumbs up, little subscription. Help support the channel. I promise you, it's not going in our pockets. We just want to get the most reach we can so you guys can see our content. We do this because we love it. We're passionate, and we think we know what we're talking about sometimes, Jason and myself. So if you guys could take a second, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, share the broadcast, all that good stuff. Love the chat. And I just want to say a couple comments. George, are you going to analyze other quarterbacks coming out? George, you going to analyze what's coming out too? The answer is yes. I think we have Drew Allar next on the board. I can't tell you when it's coming out. It might be Allar. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing that. I appreciate you guys again for watching that video. I can't thank you guys enough for all the great comments you had. All right, let's stick with the quarterbacks here because we talked about Tai Simpson. Is this the draft? Everybody loves the quarterback. Mendoza's one, right? I think we're clear on that. Whether I'm not as high like him 1-1. I think he is the number one quarterback. I think he will go number one overall. It'll probably end up being when I do my board somewhere in my top 10. But I think him being number one is more of this class strength than anything else. But like after Mendoza, kind of who's your three quarterbacks? Because I know people have different lists. There's not many, Jacob.
No, definitely. So, and I will say, I'm with you on Mendoza. I think maybe I'm, at least from the sounds of it, I'm a little bit higher than you, but to the same point, I don't have number one. I have him going there on account of he's a quarterback, and that's where he's going to go. So I have Mendoza number 4, and then Caleb Downs number 1, Jeremiah Love, Arvell Reese. That's my top 3, and then Mendoza will be number 4. So. Still playing things out. I mean, obviously, things will, might change, but I feel pretty good about those 4 guys being my top 4 prospects in this class, and then going from there. But
no,
as far as
your top 3 after your top 3 quarterbacks after Mendoza.
Yeah, no.
No, I see what you mean. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So my number 2 is Tai Simpson. I think that, I think there's. For a guy who only started for 1 year in college, I think that there's a lot to like in between the ears. Usually with these 1-year starters, you see, okay, maybe he's a little bit raw. He's not very comfortable going through full field reads. Maybe his footwork gets a little, panicky under pressure. I don't see as much of that with Simpson because I see someone who's, I come away impressed with his pocket awareness, honestly, where he knows how to maneuver the pocket. He doesn't get too panicked whenever he's under pressure. He knows where to go and when to go. Then he keeps his eyes up if he has to scramble. I mean, not to say like he's the best athlete in the world for a quarterback, but he can still move around a little bit. I think it's more of a pocket agility than it is a dual threat capability. So I like that with him. I think he's got a good natural sense of timing behind his throws. I think he's got good chemistry with his receivers, and to be able to build that up quickly is impressive. I mean, I know he came up through the ranks at Alabama, and that's another thing I like too, is I have to respect the fact that he stuck with one program the entire time, waited, developed, and then when the time was right, he took that starting job and he absolutely killed it. So I respect that. I think I kind of liken him to like a Bo Nix sort of, to where he's an accurate quarterback. He's got a solid arm. It's not elite necessarily. And I think that, kind of like what you see with Bo Nix, some people criticize and be like, oh, he's not a franchise quarterback because his arm isn't incredible, or he's not like an insane athlete. But I mean, as you're seeing right now with the Broncos, you can win. You can win a lot of games with a Bo Nix quarterback. If you build a good roster around that in place, if you have a quarterback who can run the offense, even if it's just as like a floor general type of point guard, so to speak, or a game manager quarterback, I think that that's something you can absolutely win with. And I think that there's a negative connotation when you say game manager, where it's like, oh, well, that's just what people use to describe a quarterback who sucks. That's it's not exactly the case. Where I use that as, all right, maybe he's not the most physically gifted like Simpson. Okay, he's smaller. He's like 208 pounds. He's not the biggest guy. He is a good arm, but it's not great. And he's a solid athlete, but it's not elite necessarily. But I like the accuracy you have to work with there. I like the composure under pressure, the composure going past the first read. So I do like that there. I have him, going in the first round. Exactly how high, I have no idea. It's just tough to tell. I'm curious to see like if a team's truly desperate, like in the top 10, to take a quarterback that high. But I don't know. I could see him going as high as number 2 to the Jets, and I could see him going as low as where the Steelers pick in the 20s. or maybe with that second pick with the Rams. I think he'll go in the first round. It's just a matter of exactly how high that's going to end up being. So, I know you also asked for my other quarterbacks too. I just kind of went on a tangent there about Tai
No,
Simpson in particular.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I just before you can get to your, but the Tai Simpson, your evaluation, a lot of the things. I'd be curious, honestly. Watch that video. It's under the video section and DM me back. I'd be curious to see your thoughts because we share a lot of the same thing. Like no doubt, the only 15 career starts and the only like 1 year as a full starter is concerning. Not a lot of guys to go in round 1 or round 2 that work out. But the more I watch them for the limited pre and post snap, like you said it, I love that. I highlighted this in the video. His ability to keep his eyes. There's certain guys who scramble because they don't have the field vision and just take 6 yards or 3 yards. He's looking downfield to make a play. You said Bo Nix is very similar to that. And I love that about him. His eyes are downfield all the time. The arm's good enough. It's not elite, like you said, but there's arm talent there. There's a couple throws on tape I like, and I mentioned this in the video. Jason, arm talent is not just about velocity only. It's about layering. It's about release. It's like Quinn Ewers we have here. Doesn't have the strongest arm, but there's definitely arm talent. And his intermediate game, he's one of the better accurate guys intermediately. And I think the most underrated part of his game is the playmaking. I mean, I showed a play where he feels the backside pressure, resets multiple times. He resets his base off scrambling and delivers a strike downfield. So, like, the more I don't know what to do with him because I liked him more than I initially thought. But I'm like, gosh, I have him somewhere in that late first to second, but more second round. I'd feel comfortable, and if he's somewhere there in the third round, I'd take a shot, like no doubt. Like, I don't know what quite to do with him because of the experience. That's kind of my thoughts, and he's my number 2 quarterback as well. But there is a gap between him, definitely, and Mendoza, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So let's stick with Simpson for a half a second here. I'm not in the camp that believes that they should draft Simpson at 11 if he's there. I think that this is a tailor-made draft for the Dolphins to build their team, maybe use one of their 3/3 or a 4th-round pick to kind of take a flyer on a quarterback. You know they're going to, because Sullivan essentially said, we're going to draft a quarterback every year, and if they hit, great. If worse comes to worse, we'll just use it for trade value. Do you think the Dolphins should consider him if he's there at 11, or should they just wait a year for the 2027 class if they want to invest in a first-round quarterback? Because I'll tell you, a lot of people in the Dolphin world will have post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, if another Alabama quarterback is drafted.
Yeah,
different players, but
believe me, Jason,
do that.
I heard a lot of that on the comp. No way, another Alabama quarterback. But yeah,
but one of the
it's helmet scouting,
You make a really good point with the Bo Nix comparison to Tai Simpson as a player, because what's really interesting in that, if you layer it, is that Russell Wilson was cut. They had to deal with all that dead money a couple of years ago, and the Dolphins are looking at an extremely similar scenario with Tua. And then if they draft a guy that comps out as Nix, look at what they did this year. To your point, so. What are your thoughts there on what should the Dolphins do if he's just hanging around there at 11?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely consider it. I don't know if I'd go down that route specifically. I think, Jason, like you mentioned, having those 3 third-round picks, that's probably the route that I'd go with. I'd probably try and take a guy there and just, wait things out and see. It's worth a flyer, in my opinion. And, with some of the needs on defense and with, offensive tackle being a need in particular, I think that that's something where the Dolphins, in this class specifically, I agree. It's pretty tailor-made for, all right, we're going to take a shot on a guy late on day 2, see if it works. If it doesn't, that's no skin off our back. We'll just, try and focus on next year to figure out what we're going to do at the quarterback position. So it's definitely worth considering. I mean, I think that if you have that, if you have the number 2 overall quarterback or just the best available quarterback, because Mendoza will be gone by then, you have to consider it as a team that does need a quarterback. I don't think they'll do it. I don't know if I'd pull the trigger on it. But I'd have to consider it.
Yeah,
I'd keep it into,
Shout out to
I wouldn't go all in on it though.
Shout out to Lo-Fi. Lo-Fi is part of our team here, and he's a big fan of Simpson. He likes him. So I agree. I said in the video. Remember, guys, go watch it. Guys, please in the chat. Thank you, guys. The chat. I love the chat. So if you have any questions for Jacob, go ahead, or any of us. We'll try to pull them up here soon. But guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the little bell, subscribe, support the channel. We appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you guys so much. Honestly, this last month is really, really strong for you guys showing support to the channel. We continue to appreciate it. I said if you trade back, grab some more assets, I consider it. Not at 11, but you said the middle rounds. Our guy Lo-Fi, he's a big Drew Allar guy. What are your thoughts on him? And who are some of that? Let's say they have what 3/3, Jason? I believe. Well, I better know. We're doing the mock
3/3. 3/3. Yep.
So when you look at that, is Allar makes it there, and is he a guy that you would consider? Do you like him? To me, he's a project. There is big upside there. He does have the prototype I'm looking for at that position. Your thoughts on Allar, and maybe who else? I mean, Chambliss is coming out now. Like, who else would you consider in that group?
Yeah, so I think with Allar, it's tough because obviously coming off the injury, you wonder, okay, what could have been this season if he stayed healthy? And I'm with you 100%. Like the tools are there. He's got prototypical size for the quarterback position. He's tall. He's thickly built too. He can take a hit. You don't have to worry about, is he going to get hurt if he gets sacked too often? What we saw with Jaden Daniels last year, where he got hurt, multiple different times over the course of the season. With Allar, I mean, you have more of a powerful physical presence, someone who can, stand tall in the pocket, deliver a throw. He's not going to necessarily be as worried if he takes a hit. The footwork under pressure is still a little bit of a work in progress, but it's improved. I think that's what I've seen that encourages me the most about him is he's still a work in progress. Like he's still, got a long way to go in terms of his development, but he's shown he can grow because he's always had the size. He's always had the arm strength. He's always been a good athlete relative to his, bigger frame. But I think that his timing's gotten a little bit better over the course of his career. I think his, the touchdown the field, the ability to anticipate guys getting open, again, not all the way there, but it's definitely improved. And I think that if you're willing to be patient with him, he's a guy I could absolutely see going in round 3. Another guy too, I think in that range, Trinidad Chambliss out of Ole Miss, where you have, obviously he's still going through that appeal process. He's trying to get another year in college football. I think that, if he does end up declaring for this year's draft, I think he'll probably end up my QB3. It's really close. I have 4 guys graded pretty similarly near that QB3 range. Chambliss, Allar, Carson Beck, and then Garrett Nussmeier. So that's like my next tier down of guys who are probably late day 2, early day 3, sort of, hey, maybe we'll take a chance on, depending on the skill set, it's either a project quarterback or a guy who's, who projects better as a high caliber backup. So those 4 guys I have pretty similarly graded. Chambliss, I came away really impressed with what he brought to the table this year for Ole Miss. Again, I like the touch that he has. He's a little bit more polished in terms of his, the touch that he throws with, in terms of how he can anticipate where receivers are going to be and how he can anticipate them getting open. And he's a really good athlete too. I think that's another aspect of it where he's, he's capable on those option plays where, whether it's a read option or whether it's a, like a quarterback keeper sort of instance, RPO, whatever the case might be, whatever you want to throw at him, he can use his athleticism to his advantage. So he's not the biggest quarterback. In fact, he's pretty undersized. I think his pre-snap recognition isn't quite where it needs to be, which is, to be fair, kind of to be expected for a guy who's, only started 1 year at the FBS level, let alone Power 4. Arm strength is solid. Again, that's not particularly elite, but I do think that Chambliss has a lot to like. I think that he could be a solid stopgap starter. A spot starter. That's the phrase that I'm looking for. I think that's something Chambliss could absolutely accomplish. in the NFL, but yeah, Chambliss and Allar, I think probably are the highest ceilings out of that bunch. Carson Beck and Nussmeier, I think, are probably more of high-end backups, which, to be fair, you can make a killing in the NFL as a high-end backup. You can make a ton of money doing that. So I think that, if you say that to Nussmeier or Beck, I think they'll take it, honestly. But, obviously everyone wants to be everyone wants to be a starter. Everyone wants to be the franchise guy. That's not the case with everybody. So Chambliss is a guy I really like in that, round 3 range. I don't know if he's going to be there. I could see a team getting really high on him and taking him maybe in the late second or something, trying to just throw a dart at the board and see what sticks. But I think out of Allar, Beck, Nussmeier, I think Aller is definitely the highest ceiling of the 3.
Yeah. How do you rank the, like, I have Simpson. Where do you have Nussmeier ranked in there? Because he's another. I mean, he probably made some money in the Senior Bowl. I really liked him in 24, right? And all of a sudden he kind of had this, the injuries or whatever, and the dip in play. But I was a fan of his, and I can't. Once I see a guy and I like him, I can't get that out of my head. Where do you have him, kind of Nussmeier, in that range?
That's a good question. Sorry, I'm moving around a little bit.
That's all right, man.
Laptop's low on battery.
That's
gotta
okay.
do what I got to do.
It shows you got a nice kick slide there, Jacob.
Thank you. But yeah, so Nussmeier, I kind of have in like that early round 4 range.
Yeah.
I think it's probably where I put him right now. I had him a lot higher to begin this year. I think that his 2024 campaign was honestly really good. And I think that when he's on, he's shown he can be like a solid level NFL starting quarterback. The knock is
this offense down here. He absolutely fit the Dolphins. And Nussmeier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I probably have Nussmeier. I probably go Mendoza, Simpson. It's early. Chambliss, Allar, and then maybe Nussmeier. I'm not a huge Carson Beck guy. But then, anyways, how would you rank your top 4? Did you say your top 4 already, or do we get off that? Your top 4?
Oh yeah, yeah. So my top 4: Mendoza number 1, Simpson number 2, Chambliss number 3, and I'm going back and forth. I have Nussmeier as QB4 right now.
Okay, so we're
just
pretty
because.
close.
Yeah, but I mean, Allar and Beck are right there.
Yeah. Mr. Jason, sorry.
Let's pivot to wide receivers. This is my premium want position for the Dolphins. They need a tall wide receiver, Jacob. They obviously have speed with Waddle. We could pretty much guarantee that Tyreek Hill is going to be a cut soon. So they also have Malik Washington. They have just small, speedy receivers. I think they need a true X 6'2", 6'3", or above guy. What do you like about the class overall? I know Lemon's a fantastic player, but what wide receivers are you high on, especially the tall ones?
Yeah, so I'll go like specifically on the big guys for you. I think that maybe not at 11. I mean, not just as far as positional needs, but also as far as if Carnell Tate's off the board, you're probably not going to take a bigger receiver that early. I mean, Mekhi Lemon, great talent. Jordan Tyson, again, another great talent. They're not necessarily those, go up and get it, jump ball sort of X receivers like you mentioned. But I think that round 2, it would certainly be, on my radar. And because there are a lot of guys who would fit that mold that I think would do really well there. First one that comes to mind is Jacoby Lane from USC. He's a guy where I just love his ability to win above the rim. They have him listed as, I'm trying to make sure I get it right, like 6'4". So he's a big dude, and still maybe a little bit more muscle he needs to add to his frame, but that doesn't hurt his ability at the catch point because he tracks the ball really well. He's aggressive, boxing out defenders on the 50-50 ball. And I think for such a tall guy, he's a pretty good athlete who can stretch the field a bit with his deep speed. A couple other dudes I like. Chris Bell out of Louisville. I'm interested in seeing how he does too, because he's coming off, he had a season-ending injury. I think he'd be in that late round 1 conversation if he didn't get hurt. Now I think he's more day 2. But again, just dense, 220 pounds, 6'1", super powerful, super explosive receiver. Maybe not as tall as a Jacoby Lane or a Denzel Boston out of Washington, who I think he's going to go somewhere in that.
Big fan.
I think he'll go somewhere in like that middle range where I think 11's a little too steep for him, but 43, I don't know if he's going to fall that far. Very good football player though. Another guy I like too, I mean, honestly, both of the Indiana receivers, Omar Cooper Jr. and Elijah Surratt, I like both of them for different reasons. Surratt, I think, is a little bit more of a polished route runner, a little bit more creative in terms of his releases off the line of scrimmage. But I love Cooper's yak ability too. I think both their ball skills are really good, but I think Cooper's more explosive laterally, and then Surratt's just a little bit more refined. Again, it goes back to that different flavors conversation. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys of receivers in this class, especially on day 2, where you look at it, it's like, all right, if you need size, there are a handful of other dudes, and there are a couple more I can touch on too that kind of fit in that realm.
Well, I mean, we're gonna do a mock draft here coming up, and right pretty soon, like in the next few minutes, and there's gonna be a ton of guys, a lot of guys that like. You got to look at the Green Bay type. They have a type. Defensive linemen that are fast. Offensive linemen that are athletic and have tackle background. They move inside the guard. Shuttle and 3-cone on the defensive backs. And like safeties with speed. Like there's all that in there. So and there's a ton. I could see both of the Indiana receivers as like Green Bay type receivers. And another guy I like, sleeper, Ted Hurst. And I like Ted Hurst before the Senior Bowl. He's just – if that kid played at a helmet that was like Alabama or Miami or something like that, boy, we'd be talking we'd be talking something else with him. I like him, but we'll see. And the mock draft here, we're gonna come up now. So everybody, get into the room, share the broadcast, thumbs up. Let's get a like streak going here, a subscription stream, kind of streak going. Let's get in. Let's make the pick. Damn, hurry up and make the pick. All right. So we're ready to go. We're going to pull up the simulator. We'll take a look at the trade options as well. We'll take a look in the simulator here. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right.
And for everybody we'll do a little role playing here. We'll have our honored guest Jacob as the GM. We're going to anoint him as the GM in the room. George will be like that head of scouting, and I'll kind of wear a couple of different hats, maybe a coach, maybe an owner, maybe a coordinator, kind of a bang the table guy tiebreaker,
All right. Everybody ready to go? Let's get this thing going. Let me pull it up here. So round 7, Miami, 7 rounds. Okay, we're starting the draft. Let's start it. It'll let us know. Trades will pop up on the bottom here when we get alerts on trades, and we'll take a look at them. Bain, Reese, Fano, Tate, Tyson. Ooh. Okay, so the board didn't go. It went chalk. All right? It went chalk. Let's look at the trade offers first, guys. So we have Dallas. They want us to move back 1 spot and pick up 112. Interesting. And then Houston, they want to get 11 to give us 28, 59, and 69. The Jets, we're going to trade a division rival, which might be the best trade, 11 to 16, picking up 44. Philly gets 11. They give us 23 and 54. First of all, what trades do we like out of those, guys? And any of them appeal to you?
I love that Jets one, honestly.
The Jets one? Sarni.
If I was going into this, if there were 11 guys that were on my list that you cannot make a trade back for, one of them is still there in Sonny Styles. So if I'm chiming in and I just say, what if we pass on Sonny Styles and he becomes an all-pro linebacker? This is a versatile guy. He has safety background. He could do it all. You pair him with Jordan Brooks, and of course, we're talking about Hafley, a defensive guy. I think Hafley would get into a shouting match with anybody who passes on a guy like that in a trade back. So I like a couple of guys on this list. I mean, obviously, Jermon McCoy, injury risk, but fantastic tape from 2 seasons ago. Delane is a guy I like. I would say we have to hold and make a pick here because of those three Styles and the two corners. That's my input.
That's your opinion. Here's what I'm looking at.
And
right?
I don't want to trade with a lot of those teams because if Howie Roseman makes the deal, he's going to win it. You know that. I don't want to help the Jets get a potential quarterback or any improvement, even though it is a nice, you're getting a 44th pick, sure. Look, but I'm saying a pick should be made. That's my 2 cents.
I mean, if you were worried about Styles, if he goes, I'm pretty sure he'll be available and you can get 112. This one I wouldn't do. That's moving too far back. This one's not bad. So I'm down to either the Jets one or the Dallas one. If you're moving, chat, get involved. Let's see your opinion. What you guys like. All right, Jacob, your thoughts here. I think that my debate here is moving down to. Let's say we move down to 16. I'm curious. I'm going to ask you. You're the head GM here. I'll be your director of college scouting. I will tell you, Jermon McCoy. If he's not hurt, you have no shot at getting him at number 11. He is the number 1 corner in this draft. He didn't get hurt. He has got unbelievable skill and athleticism and size for that position. I know your guy Kendrick Fox there. To me, I'm down to Delaney, Styles, and McCoy in this pick for the Dolphins. Who are you down to?
So I love McCoy's tape from 2024. I look at that and I think that's a big risk to take with the number 11 pick to have a guy who missed the entire season due to injury. So for that purely for that reason, I have him off my board this early. I mean, I get hell of a player, like exactly like you said, the size, the athleticism. I love all of it. For a team like the Dolphins where they need defensive help, I want to go with a little bit more of a sure thing. I'm between Delane and Styles here.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the two picks that I'm looking at here.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna throw the Halfley hat on right now, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
There's a Buckeye tie. There's history with Halfley from Ohio State. I know they didn't necessarily overlap, but if I'm a first-year head coach and I got a chance to get a guy who went to a college that he has or I have played at, however you want to look at it, I think that, look, I agree with you that Delane or Styles would be a very good way to start this draft. But I also think, could you get a guy like Styles later, or could you get a guy who's a very good cover corner later? What's an easier proposition there?
Here, I'll throw my hat on Styles. Is what he does at the second level, and it's a bit in the fundamental tackling and athleticism he has in the lane. I mean, he fits Green Bay type to a T. I'm with you. I love McCoy. I mean, if he wasn't the injury, Jacob, I don't think we have a shot at him and Jason at 11 here. My recommendation, if it's Delaney or Styles, you're asking me, what can I get more? I mean, I do like this safety and corner class, actually, better than most. My recommendation would be Sonny Styles. My question is, can we move to 12, pick up 112, and still get Sonny Styles? Jacob?
So with him moving back, I'd be wary solely for the fact of Dallas, you never really know.
Trading with Dallas, yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna go defense with that pick. It's just a matter of, if it's gonna be edge, if they Falk a lot, or they could go Styles, they could go Delane, honestly, too. But I'm you mentioned it too, George. I think that this is a good corner class.
Yeah.
I think that you're not going to get a corner like a prospect at caliber of Mansour, but I think you can also get a similar type of player in the second round. I think it's going to be a lot tougher to replicate that with Sonny Styles compared to the linebackers that'll be available later.
Even though I'm a big fan of the Cincinnati linebacker, I think this guy is going to go higher than people think. Golday, he's freak, size, athleticism. I was a big Schlesinger guy last year. Maybe I'll get my second round linebacker. Jason knows I was banging the table for that guy. I mean, he's one of the ones, Jacob, when your eyes open, you say, okay, this guy's going to be good. All right, my recommendation, stick and pick. Let's not take chances. Let's get Jordan Brooks. Let's get Sonny Styles. Jacob, you get the final call here. What do you say?
Yeah. I say let's go with Styles. Let's run the clock in. Let's run the pick in, and
pick is in. We're going with Sonny Styles, outside linebacker. We're pairing him up with Jordan Brooks. Oh my!
I think that's the way to go. This is definitely the way to go because this is a tailor-made battery. And when I say battery from now on, that's Sullivan and Halfley. The 1-2 punch now in this war room is the general manager from Green Bay, the head coach from Green Bay, who was a defensive guy. This makes complete sense. And Sonny Styles is a guy who a lot of people think could be in the top 7 or 8 pick. So really a good way to start.
All right, we're back up. Let's look at the 2 trades. We got 2 trades on the table. Buffalo, another division rival. They want to give us 60 and 91 for 43. The Chargers want to give us 55 and 86. I like that better, obviously. I'd consider. Let's see what's on the board. Oh, I love Pons. Chris Johnson, the guy you love, Jason. I like
Chris Johnson a lot.
This kid, he's a football player, man. He's a tackling machine. So he's available. My guy, all day. You have the tackle turner. Who are guys you like here? Jennings, Dunker, Max Clare, the tight end of Ohio State, Connor Lew. Who do you guys like here? Jacob, anybody stand out to you who's on the board?
Yeah, so looking at it now, I'm really happy that we passed on corner in the first round because the round 2 value of corner is really, really good. I like any of those 3 guys. I like Abney. I like Pons. If D'Angelo Pons was like 2 inches taller, he'd be a top 15 pick in this year's class. He's just an absolute magnet to the ball, fluid as all get out, super sharp processor in coverage, aggressive, plays his butt off. I like that a lot. Chris Johnson too, just a scrappy cornerback. I think it's going to come down to him or Emmanuel McNeil-Warren as far as like who my top group of 5 players in this class.
Love that.
But I think Johnson's as safe as they come as far as what you can get at the group of 5 level. Like he's super smart, smooth in his back pedal. Like I said, he's scrappy. I think he's going to be a good starter for a long time. Yeah, I'm loving these. I'm loving these corners. I think Abney's really good.
He's a technician, right? He's a savvy, old school type corner. I mean, I think he has a high floor. He's not an elite athlete, I don't think. That's my concern, the long speed a little bit. But he's got great hips. He recovers well. I mean, the play strength's okay. And the long speed concerns me, but he has a high floor. He's kind of, I like him. I don't love him at this spot. I honestly think the safety at Oregon just is his IQ and the love for the game just jumps out to me. I love him. I'd be probably in between those 2 guys. Jason, where are you at here?
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that offensive line is an issue, and I think that we have to consider a tackle. I'm not giving Austin Jackson an automatic starting spot at right tackle. He had 1 good year. So if there's a right tackle that you think Jacob is fitting of the 43 slot, I see a couple of guys up there, that could fit the bill. I don't know, go, if you don't mind, just go to the tackles available. Click on the tackles.
Yeah.
Let's see who's at our disposal.
All right.
Because like Dunker, I don't know. Dunker, it could be too early for Dunker. I like Tiernan. He's got great size at like 6'7".
Yeah, World is like a 6'8". He's first year transfer to Oregon, protecting. He's got a big upside, Isaiah World, but I see him more as a developmental guy. Would you agree with that, Jacob? For Isaiah World, Dunker, who just nasty. He's got the mullet, all that stuff. The tape, the athleticism concerns me a little bit at right tackle. Which one of these tackles? How do you have them ranked for you, Jacob?
Yeah, so I actually have Dunker as a guard. I think he's where you see that mentality, you see that play strength, like the nastiness. I think that would thrive really well along the interior. I have similar, like the long speed for a tackle is okay. How quick can you be, like meeting an edge rusher at the top of their arc? But still same thing.
Yeah.
I have some concerns about that with Dunker. I think he's quick off the line of scrimmage in a vacuum, especially as a run blocker. But Yeah, I have him as a guard. Blake Miller, I like a lot here. I don't know if I like him more than the corners who are available.
Yeah.
Isaiah World to me he kind of reminds me a little bit of like Austin Jackson actually when he was coming out of USC. So, to take that according, however you
yeah.
will. But again, like Raw, he's, really athletic, but it's just a matter of, is he going to be able to put it together from a technique perspective? I look a little bit lower there, knowing that we have 3 third-round picks to work with. Austin Barber is a guy I feel pretty good about. Jude Bowery, a little bit lower there as well. I like.
Yeah.
Shelton and Zune I have as guards, but again, if you're looking for just offensive line depth, I think you could certainly go down that route. But yeah,
teams are pounding the table for Dunker. Then drop a
let me
cornerback
throw
like
one
Dayton.
more food for thought for our GM Jacob here.
Here we
If
go.
you bring back up the trade,
Okay.
I'm very intrigued with rolling the dice and trading back with LA.
I don't love anybody
55,
here.
And I do think that there could be one of those 2 tackles available, maybe. And if not, you can get a really good corner. Because, Jacob, as you mentioned, there's going to be a 3rd-round tackle or guard convert that you think we can get with one of those 3 picks. So if Tiernan or Dunker would be there if we move back, I think that's like a massive grand slam.
Yeah.
So I would entertain the trade here if Jacob wants to do that.
I think
I like the LA trade.
I think Blake Miller's a guy this front office is going to like because he has flexibility. What are your thoughts on Turnin? He's interesting to me. What are your thoughts on the Northwestern offensive tackle?
Yeah, so I have him. That'd be tackle number 6. So it's Proctor 4, Freeling 5. I mean, Freeling, realistically, I think I get a feeling the more I watch of him, the more he's going to rise. But for now, he's 5 just because I haven't watched enough of him. Tiernan's at 6, though. I think he's a high floor type of tackle. 4-year starter at Northwestern. He's battle tested against some of the best defenders in the nation. Like you said, the size, the physicality really impresses me. I think the spatial awareness against different, pass rush looks, exotic rushes, whether it's, delayed blitzes or you have stunts coming in, or I think Tiernan does a good job of processing all of those. I think if you're going with a tackle here, it should be Tiernan. I have Dunker higher as a pure offensive lineman, but again, I have him as a guard, so I'm not as familiar about. Would you as the Dolphins be willing to take a guard in the 2nd round?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: they need a right guard or a right tackle, right? They don't have either. And the left guard.
Question for Jacob too, real quick, George. And I saw someone mention this in the chat, so shout out to whoever did. I forget who it was. Jonas Avayana was on the right side in college. So if you draft left or right, the option could be to move Jonah back to the right side. So with that food for thought, if I was happy, I'd be Tiernan, Dunker, or the trade back. Hope that one of those guys would be there in that Charger trade. But I defer to you, Jacob and George. That's my 2 cents. So I would be very happy making one of those 2 guys to pick or rolling the dice.
I'd probably, for this team, go Tiernan because he's got the basketball ground. He's got really good, like his anchor's good. He's got really good feet. He's nasty. He combines a lot of those things, and you could put him on the right side, right tackle, and be fine. My concern with Duncan, I love everything about him and the way he plays. But I'm with you, Jacob. I see him more inside. It would be those 2 tackles, or for me, the safety out of Oregon, or Chris Johnson. That you like. Those are the 4 guys I'm probably looking at here.
Yeah, no, I've narrowed it down. Like those guys are on my table. I'm including Pons in my evaluation, but I think
Pons.
I think that also, you factor in the size. I don't know. So can you go to the corners real quick just to see who might be there in round 3? Because I like this class. I just don't know who's.
We can do the trade. I mean, we can trade back. And go to 55, and one of those guys will be available. I always say, is there somebody you can't lose here? The corners, we got Johnson.
That's the question. That's the question.
I love him. Davison, I can never get his name right, out of Ohio State. And I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, I watched the tape on Devin Moore. Am I missing something? It's like Monroe Food. What am I missing here? I'm looking at like an NFL corner when I'm watching him. And you have effort out of Georgia. Somebody mentioned in the chat. So there's corners, right? Would you guys – I think the choices are the corner, the offensive lineman, or move back to 55 and pick up the extra pick.
I have an idea here,
and
I see it in the YouTube chat here. The idea of pulling the trigger on Dunker, and we got ammo to trade up if needed for a corner. Okay. What I'd be cool with going with Dunker here, because I do have Dunker before Tiernan, and checking to see how the simulator goes. If as soon as two of those corners, as soon as two of Abney, D'Angelo Pons, and Chris Johnson are off the board, as soon as there's one more left,
stop and try to trade here.
Stop and try to trade for one of those guys.
Okay. So I was good with either one of those guys. Dunker, if they want to get big, and I will say, John Eric Sullivan said they want to be multiples. They also want to be able to play big. Dunker fits it. The chat. This one's for the chat. How about that? It's Mock 1.0. This one's for the chat. Let's send the card in, Jacob. That's my recommendation. Sonny, you're recommending Dunker?
There's going to be a lot of mullets being grown in Miami. Let's go with it. So I think we should do it.
Jacob, let's go. Let's watch the corner market here. We're pulling the trigger. Jennings, Dunker, future right guard or right tackle for the Miami Dolphins.
All right, I like it.
All right. Keep it on the
pause it. Pause it. You gotta get a trade going.
All right. This is the guy I want. The Ohio State kid. I missed it. My fault, guys.
No, you're good. You're good.
Still got the player.
What's our picks? We come up at 75.
We're gonna have to wait now. Not good grades, but I don't agree with the grades on that.
Yeah, I don't agree with those grades.
That's ridiculous.
So I say now let's just go to our picks. Let's go to our picks, play it out, and then we can make the third round selections. And then we can go from there.
Blame the no corner on me, my lateness. It went really quick. I didn't realize it was going to go that quick. All right, let's let it roll. All right, so the quarterback went to tight end. Come on. Couple more picks. Oh, right.
There. Shoot, that's tough. Okay.
Oh, man.
The agony of drafting.
I feel like I'm really in the war room. Yeah. George, you're 40 times off. All right. So here we go. I love Kamari Ramsey. Love him. Derek Moore, Barbara. Let's look at the corner market. We missed out on the corner. I mean, you have Malik Muhammad. I love Devin Moore, but I think we can get him at 87, maybe. I think that's our next pick.
I'd like to see the receivers.
75 and 87 and 90. So we got a nice. Let's look at the trade. What's our trade? New England wants to give us 95.
Can't deal with the Patriots.
Yeah, we can't. All the divisions want to trade with us.
I know, right? I would like to see the receivers. See what's cooking in the receiver market.
All right, let's check in the receivers.
That's a good idea.
We got Malachi Fields. We have Antonio Williams, Burks. Penn Hurst.
Can I put the Bobby Slowick hat on right now?
I know where you're going. You're going with the guy I have highlighted.
The Bobby Slowick hat. I'm going to give you a reason. I think, Jacob, you're going to like it. When Bobby Slowick was in Houston, he turned the 6'4" wide receiver in his third year into a beast in Nico Collins. And I'm not saying that Malachi Fields is Nico Collins, but I'm thinking that the mixture of Waddle and then Fields on the outside as that tall gulp and get a kind of guy would be a great pick offensively to put some points on the board for an offensive coordinator that's going to need to really show that he knows what he's doing and could really get some weapons in complement to Waddle, Achane, and of course, whoever's throwing the ball, got to start to help this guy out too, whether it's Ewers, whether it's a free agent, a rookie. So I'm throwing the Fields hat in there.
Okay.
Jason, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I think that it makes perfect sense. Like, especially, I didn't even think of the Slowick aspect of it too, and the Nico combination there too. So I think I like the corners that are there. I think you can get a decent one with your next pick. Looking at the receivers though, I'm a little bit, there aren't so many like big receivers that have some of the, the fluidity and the body control that Malachi Fields has. So, yeah,
And we're picking 12 picks later. We're only 12 picks later. So if you want a corner, you're going to get a corner in 12 picks.
Yeah, you can.
I'm going to say this. A good one. I'll sign up the Fields if we can get Devin Moore with the next pick. I mean, what are your thoughts on Devin Moore?
I'm intrigued by him. Sorry,
you like Muhammad better, right? In Rivers. So
I have Muhammad a little bit higher, but also part of that too is because I haven't watched as much of Devin Moore as I need to as well. I love the size with Moore. Listed at 6'3". I don't remember exactly what he ended up measuring at the Senior Bowl, but I like the fluidity he has, especially on some of those deeper routes. He's got the deep speed needed to be able to defend some of those more vertical route concepts. I like what he brings as a tackler too, which is something I think will be really beneficial to Miami. Either way, I think if you go Muhammad or if you go with Devin Moore, or I didn't see Chandler Rivers or.
What about what are your thoughts on this guy's an extra read and react safety, Kamari Ramsey? I mean, I love this safety group, by the way. Now, Wheatley out of Penn State is somebody you could get later on. Jennings Smith, I like out of Arizona State. What are your thoughts on I like the safety group. What are your thoughts on Ramsey?
I like Ramsey a lot. I think he'd be really good value at 75. I mean, he's smart. He's fluid. He's got good ball skills. He brings the hits as a tackler. I don't know if the long speed's going to be all that great whenever he runs the 40. But I think like in a vacuum, he's plenty explosive. I will say the only thing I'll say is I really like the safety value later in the third round compared to, all right, if we pass on Fields now, or if we pass on a corner now, I think you could get a
Wheatley.
I think you could get a really good safety with the third of those third round picks. I think you can get a really good safety there, or at least somebody who could be a starter. So, I think just off of pure positional value and like the drop off comparative to this class.
I'd probably go Fields here, to be honest. I just like to throw every angle. Safety class, I love corner. I say Fields might not make it to 87. I'd go Malachi.
Yeah.
I agree with you. His fluidity and size, like it separates. The Nico Collins thing, like Jason said, with Slowick, and this team desperately needs size in that position. So I agree with you guys.
Now, two things. One little thing I want to kind of look a little bit in the future. There's the 87th pick and the 90th pick for the Dolphins coming up. So whoever we pass on, or whatever position group we pass on, chances are there's going to be good options. I want to see just what edge rushers are available. Gabe Jackas should probably be available. Danny Denton Sutton from DDS is available. Okay,
there's some really good, really good.
There's some good value there. So I would say
I like Wesley Williams later on.
If I am Bobby Slowick still, and I am kind of dancing on the table for Fields, I would say that I'm going to shut up offensively as long as you guys take care of the defense on the next two picks, edge and corner or safety. So that's my call. It's Fields, and then got to address edge and defensive back in the next two picks coming on up.
I love Danny Dennis Sutton's size and frame. Can play 3-4-5 tag. You can play in a 4-3 and I mean he's a guy I like a lot.
And for the marketing department, there's a tailor-made nickname in there. If he hits people hard, you call him the dentist. DDS.
Yeah, there you go.
Simple as that.
Oh man, Sonny's definitely the coach. He's the coach. He's like in the coaching. He's the head coach who's fighting for what he knows his roster needs. but Derek Moore plays with power. I know Derek Moore like had that one play in the Senior Bowl against Malachi Bell, but like I don't love Derek Moore as much as everybody else. Like I know he plays with a lot of power, but I'm not as high on Derek Moore. I say we go Fields here. You guys agree? Jacob, final call Fields?
Yeah, so let's go Fields and let's
see how the board
go.
falls.
Let's go defense. Those next two picks. I'm not. I'm not entertaining offense. The next two picks.
100%. Bobby
Ramsey,
Slowick right now is
Ramsey
doing
gone
the jig on a table right now. He's so happy.
Two linebackers I love, man. Jacob, Texas Tech linebacker. All right.
Jacob Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's such instinctual player. I'm curious to see what he runs. But
Me
man,
too.
he's a playmaker, man. He's a playmaker.
I think this is the dentist coming up.
The dentist? Let's see.
The dentist. All right.
This nickname has to happen. Whether he's a Dolphin or something else.
I might just take him because
this guy the dentist already.
No, Jacob Rodriguez, size concerns me a little bit, but man, dude, he just gets he gets every blood, sweat, and tear out of that frame. He had a heck of a Senior Bowl. He's a guy I'd be looking at here too, though. I'm not gonna lie. DDS, I love the frame. I love, he's a great athlete. It's about 6'5", 268. He can turn the corner. They need that at that end position. To me, he fits a lot of 3-4. More of a 5-tech, but I think he's a big end, and they need size because they have Chop at one end, and they're going to replace Jalen Phillips, and we don't know the future of Bradley Chubb. Any other positions we should look at? Corner. There's Devin Moore there still. The guy I like, or Chandler Rivers, or any guys, Daleen Everett, somebody mentioned in the chat from Georgia.
Yeah. So
safeties. Genesis Smith is a player I like a lot.
I like him a lot too.
A lot.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to.
So go ahead. We got the clock. We got time.
Okay. So I'm looking because we have a 4th round pick too.
Oh,
I
love him.
This
is why I was hesitant at first because I wanted to get Ted Hurst, but
So what I'm thinking right now, and let me know what you guys think, is I'm cool with DDS here with this pick, and then honestly I like I like going at one of the safeties at 90, and then corner. I think there's with that 4th round pick. I mean that's not too far away. You're looking at guys where maybe Devin Moore is going to be there. You also have Hezekiah Masses out of California is a guy that I really like too. I'd say like Takario Davis out of Washington.
Yeah.
He's been a good collegiate starter for some time. There's a chance Chandler Rivers is there. I saw like 1 or 2 other guys too.
I think too we got to look at 86 here. The edge, 2 edges went 83 and 86.
I think
the run's there.
This is the run.
Yeah.
This is the run. And remember, you're going to get between the
got
guys
a wide
you
receiver
mentioned from a defensive back, you're going to get a guy you want. Literally, Sutton could be taken within the next 2 picks in that middle because of that run from Malachi Lawrence and Derek Moore. So I'm going.
I'm between Sutton
with DDS.
And if we didn't take Sonny Styles, I would. I love Jake. I'm telling you, man, Jacob Rodriguez. At least day one's going to be. If we were in the 4th round, I'd be all over Jacob. We took Styles already. Kyle Lewis, another guy. I love the safety class. Honestly, I think we should go with safety. Definitely these next 2 picks. And if it's Zakay Wheatley, I'm okay with that too. Taffy's still the. What are your thoughts on
Clark could be available too.
Yeah, I love his size, speed. Now he's a beast in the run game. I love Zakay Wheatley. I don't know. And remember, they have a certain athletic profile at that position, speed wise. So I think the guy's got to run under 4.47. That's the Green Bay way. So no, it is. It's we went through the whole thing. The tackles, they have a type. But all right, so we're gonna go the dentist here. I think, right? Are you guys good? Oh, we didn't look at our trade offers.
I just want to make that nickname happen at this point. So why don't we just go with the dentist so we can show it off? Nah, at this point, I think sticking and picking is the way to go.
Take DDS.
That's stick and pick. All right, we're going DDS. And we're up.
Beautiful. And there we go.
I think we go Genesis. I think we go Smith here.
Yeah, and Jacob Rodriguez, I'm a Bears guy. I'd be very happy.
Oh, I told you. Oh,
So
Sonny,
I
I
you know
keep
what?
missing out.
I'd be so stoked with that.
Yeah, we already got Styles. You know, it would be very hard to
never-
double up on inside linebacker with Brooks
I
there.
can
and
never
Dawson
get
there.
my linebacker, Jason. I can never get my linebacker. We got Styles. But I'm telling you, great pick by the Bears here at 89. I bet Jacob,
100%.
I banged the table for you a little bit, but I sensed the room was going another way. We went the right way. You got to build up front. We went the right way.
Yeah. So we're
Smith, I love. I love look, I love Zakay Wheatley. The thing is with the safety, though, the only argument, how much do you separate Genesis Smith from the rest of these guys? Because the next pick in the 4th round, one of these guys probably will be available. So we'll lead to you, Jacob. You're the head GM here. How much do you value Genesis Smith versus Clark, Wheatley, or even Kilgore? I like a lot. Guys that you like on this list.
Yeah, so Smith and Wheatley are both very close on my board right now. Kilgore is honestly not too far behind either.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I think so. It's the 90th pick right now. We pick again 21 picks.
Yeah.
I'm good with Genesis Smith here. I mean, I could go one way or another with Smith or Wheatley. I just think Smith has a little bit more upside in coverage. I think you're looking at some of the range that he has, especially as a taller safety. He's fluid. He's got good ball skills. I think Wheatley's a better tackler, but I think my hope is that you've made some of these investments in Sonny Styles. Hopefully he's going to clean up some tackles at the second level. Deny Dennis Sutton having that, potential, he's going to factor into the rotation right away, potentially maybe, go in, he's someone who could potentially make some tackles against the run as well. You don't have to rely ideally as much on, tackling as a safety. So I like Genesis Smith here. I think you could, again, like I said, one way or the other, but I'm leaning Smith here just as far as what I think Miami would end up.
I think Smith he's got great size too. I love the size of Wheatley, but when you look at Smith, I think you hit it on the point. 6'2", about a little over 200 pounds. He's a better ball tracker. I think he thrives in the way, we mentioned Jason Sarnizo, our head coach. You're Jeff Hafley here. Jeff, I'm calling Jason Jeff Hafley. He likes a mid coverage, cover 1, cover 3, center field type. I think Genesis Smith is a home run pick here for the Dolphins, and I would
agree.
I'd be shocked if we leave the table and we don't leave. Jeff Hafley's not leaving.
I would double up by saying this is the time right now in the next 2 picks to take care of defensive back. So I would be thrilled with Genesis here and
let's do it.
The best available corner at 111.
All right, let's take him.
And now I think we're looking at corner.
Rivers.
Devin Moore.
Devin Moore. And Everett too.
There's
still value. There. There's still value here. There's still value here.
Let's go to those corners.
I mean, I don't want to reach though. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. You know what I mean? I don't
love room up top. Is there any more on top, or is Takario Davis?
I don't love the board. I think the 2 guys I was looking at went. I don't know if you agree, Jacob. I don't love the board for corner here right now.
So I was looking at there are a couple of guys who went there. Honestly, I like Takario Davis here.
Pull up my board.
I think he's someone where this is 111th. As I'm pulling up my board as well, I have Davis. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I agree. Here's the thing with Davis. I'm so intrigued by his length and size.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", 200 pounds, Sonny. I think this guy.
I'm deferring to you guys on this. I think
here's the thing with Davis, Jacob.
In your eyes.
Right. Here's the thing with Davis. I think either potentially this guy can outplay his draft slot, or you look back and say this guy's just another guy who went in the 4th round. But man, Jacob, he's got rare size, and he's not like a 6'4", 180. He's 200 pounds too, right? So he's an intriguing cornerback prospect. He's another guy. How he runs, and he's a press coverage guy. You agree, right? He's a guy who get up on the line of scrimmage, and he's got good ball skills for a big guy and change of direction. So The long speed, I don't know. Do you have concerns with the long speed?
A little
There's
bit.
a quote here too. There's a quote here. Sullivan and Halfley were saying, but speed can get slow, but size don't get small. So I like a 6'4" corner here.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
go
good
if
with
I'm going
Takario
corner,
Davis
it's him.
here.
Yeah, let's do it because he's a guy I have my eye on. I would have rather had a couple guys that went before him, but shot here. This guy's got rare size and change of direction for a man his size. So he's a pure outside boundary corner, which they need. All right, Takario Davis, and then our next pick's coming.
George, let's show everybody the board before our next pick. Let's show everybody the pick selection so far.
So we got Styles, Deckers, Fields, Sutton, Smith, Davis. If this draft went like this is a really good first year building foundation for John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Halfley.
Absolutely.
All right, so what are we looking at quarterback?
You got to look at quarterback right now. Oh boy. Uh-oh.
Not yet.
Jacob, George loves Taylor Green.
No, okay, let me put it in perspective here. Can you show the chat our picks? Some people seem confused. Yeah, sure. I'll do it again. Here are our picks so far. Sonny Styles, Jennings Dunker, Malachi Fields, DDS, Jason likes to call the dentist, Genesis Smith, and Takario Davis, 6'4", 200-pound corner out of Washington. Those are our picks, and we got a few more left. We're on the board here. When do we look at quarterback? Not yet? Ooh, Justin Jolly's available.
I think hold on. Let me see. When after this pick, when do we pick again?
We pick 149 and 227. That's it. Yeah, round 5 with no 6.
Okay. As much as I like like I said earlier in the show, as much as I like the idea of just a developmental quarterback, I think the value of Justin Joly here is tremendous.
When I saw him, it took me a second.
He's going to go
a lot higher than this.
Absolutely. I mean, you could take
So Arnie, we got to go with Jolly here.
I'm good with that.
That is fine
you don't
by
have
me.
to tell me twice.
That is fine by me knowing.
Yeah,
this could be a situation where Malik Willis is already on the way to Miami at this point.
No. I wanted to say something when I mentioned Taylor Green. I'm very aware this is a lotto ticket shot on day 3. I just like to take chances Dolphins haven't. They've been allergic to athletic quarterbacks and guys with upside. I think it's a small percent chance he hits. He could be Terrell Pryor, but he's a guy I like. I don't think coming in as the answer, but he's a guy I like. If he's there in round 7 or 6, I'd consider it. But I'm going Jolly here. This guy, for him to be available here is insane.
It's fine.
We got one more pick.
Love it.
Let's go quarterback in this last pick.
You look at what quarterbacks are available.
I'm looking at Green. I'm looking at Cole Payton. I love Cole. What do you think of Cole Payton? He's tough, man. Tough. Sawyer Robertson.
With Cole Payton, I'll keep it quick because I don't know if he'll be there. But usually you don't take a 1 year starting FCS quarterback that early, or like in general at all. But I love the tools he has. He's got a good arm. He can move really well. He showed some really encouraging flashes of touch down the field. I'm impressed. So if we're coming up here.
So we're up. Let's look at the board in general.
Yeah.
Fano's brother, Caleb Douglas, really good wide receiver.
That's a big dude.
Yeah, big dude, really big dude. Caleb Proctor. Anybody stand out to you that's still in the Tyron Montgomery? Nice small school receiver. I'd say we go Cole Payton at quarterback, man.
I'm good with that.
Let's go quarterback. Let's do it for the chat. Chat, quarterback.
Another lefty?
Looks like the chat saying
that's fine.
What is the chat saying? Quarterback?
Couple people saying Cole Payton. Let's
go
saying
for
Cole Payton. Yeah.
I think that's fine. What we're also trying to do,
Cole Payton.
We're trying to jump into the mindset of this new regime too, and they literally said they're going to draft a quarterback. So this checks that box. And look, you're looking at a potential quarterback room of Quinn Ewers, Cole Payton, and Malik Willis right now, which could be pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I look at it too, like the Packers, I mean, they drafted not this past year, but the 2 years before that, they drafted quarterbacks on day 3 each of those last 2 years. So even if you're not taking a quarterback
Hey.
super early, like we didn't, I mean, I feel like it makes sense to, take a late day 3 flyer on a guy. And
Yeah. No,
I mean,
and
hey,
they're going to take one. He said he's got to take one. He said every year they're going to take. But I mean, and we don't want to get confused. Every year means to different degrees. You're not going to take a first round quarterback every year. That means they take a
the
shot.
only A+ pick that we got.
Yeah. All right. So chat, get in here after the show. I want to go in the comment section. You guys grade the draft. Give us your own mock drafts. Leave under the comments after the show. Here's our draft. We took Sonny Styles in round 1. We got offensive tackle, right tackle, or right guard. Move him in, Jennings Dunker. We got the big-bodied wide receiver out of Notre Dame to add size to the room to go along with new signing Terrence Marshall Jr. I actually like that signing. Malachi Fields. We got the edge rusher to go along with some size to replace eventually Chubb and Jaden Phillips trade last year. That's Dennis Sutton. Big center field, cover 1, cover 3, kind of fits Jeff Hafley's system. A safety was really good at tracking the ball in Genesis Smith, and at size, he's 6'2", over 200 pounds. And then we got Takario Davis. I mean, just look how we changed. Did we not know? We didn't do this on purpose, Sarni, but did we not hear John Eric Sullivan say, we're going to get bigger at every position everywhere?
That's what I said. Yeah, like
6'4",
I think I was like
200-pound corner.
Oh yeah, that's size.
6'4" and 6'2" at
as
safety
he said,
and corner.
Speed gets fast, can get slow, but
big
size don't go small. Or
Yeah.
whatever he said. I'm paraphrasing.
Whatever he said. We'll have to get Travis Wingfield back on. So, Justin Jolly, steal.
Exactly.
Steal.
100%.
How is that a B? I have no idea. Cole Payton, love what I see. He's tough. He can run. He's got size. He's rugged. He's weatherproof. Again, lotto ticket shot in the 7th round, Cole Payton. How do you guys feel about our draft? We got a B-, but I'm telling you, this is an A draft. So Styles, chat, do you like it? Don't like it?
I'm surprised they gave the F grade to Sonny Styles.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous to me.
Like, yeah,
B+
that doesn't make any sense.
We got a B+. And this is the first one.
We're
going to know these guys even better. Like, we know them, but even yourself, Jake, like you said, you watch 3-4 more games, you get to in-depth more guys, you even have a better feel of guys. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this draft. I think it's a solid, really good draft, really good foundational draft. Would have liked Jacob Rodriguez, but, we decided, I think we made the right choice. Styles, I don't like as much after the way the draft fell. Maybe. I mean, that's true. But all right, let's get your guys' final thoughts on the draft. We'll start with you, Sarni.
I like it. It checked off the boxes that you really wanted to check off. You took care of offensive line, took care of tall receiver, edge, obviously Styles, defensive back with a pair of DBs. You got your quarterback, got a great steal and a tight end weapon. So I was happy. Obviously, if 1 or 2 things fell in a different way, sure. But yeah, it's right in that B, that B range for me. I'm pleased.
Yeah. Jacob?
So I'd probably go with the B+. I think that's what I'm looking at too. I think all things considered for a first, mock draft, it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, the size. I think Sonny Styles is going to end up being a star in the league. So many people look at Arvell Reese and he's like, oh, he's a beast, and rightfully so. But Styles, I think, as a result, gets overlooked too much. Really good athlete, physical, big dude. Dunker, I think you're getting a day 1 starter at guard. Fields, I think, can contribute as a receiver pretty quickly. If not in year 1, then definitely in year 2. Looking at the defensive depth, DDS, Smith, Davis, Jolie, I think can be your event. It's crazy to say out of a late round pick like that, but I think he can be eventually your starter at tight end. Yeah. And then Cole Payton's a nice developmental pick at quarterback. So I say B+. I'd be cool with that if I were an NFL GM and that were my pick.
Yeah, I agree. Lo-Fi asked, where do the quarterbacks go? Quarterbacks. Simpson.
Is there a way to break it down by position? I thought
don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I'm not the best. Obviously, at this, I missed the corner. 21. Simpson went 21 to the Steelers. Next quarterback, it doesn't let me see, but Simpson went 21 to the Steelers. I don't remember guys going that high. So there was 2 quarterbacks in the first round of the draft. So, man, I didn't realize it was going to take us this long to do the draft. I appreciate the chat. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys like on the video after the video. Go into the video, comment. What would you have done? Give me your mock. Give us your mock. Your 6-7 round mock, or even your mock in the first 2 rounds. We really appreciate it. Jacob, man, we appreciate you coming on and joining us, staying with us for an hour and a half. It was fun. I thought the dynamic. Did you feel like you? Can we hold our own, Jacob? Did you feel like we were in a war room?
No, absolutely. Like, I think you guys, you put in some good arguments there too, and it's like there are a couple times where it's like, I'm in between a couple dudes. So it's good to have multiple people doing it where everyone's got their own opinions on players. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Lo-Fi, Robert, Jacob, Jordan. I mean, the list goes on. Kenny, 99. I mean, I can't name them all. Lou was in the house. Robert, everybody, Daniel, everybody who came in the chat. If I missed you, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help support us here, and leave a comment. Tell us what you thought in the draft. Grade it, or however you want, or put your own mock draft in there. We appreciate you guys. Until next time, we'll be back soon. Check social media. Our next time we're live, make sure you guys follow for all the great content. Check out the Tai Simpson draft video I did the other day, and we got more great stuff coming up. So appreciate it for Jacob Infante. Jacob, where can everybody find your stuff before we go? And
a thank you, Jacob, from me.
Yes.
Thank you. Really, this is a lot of fun. Appreciate your time,
of course. Yeah, thanks for having me. So you can find me on Twitter at JacobInfante24. My NFL draft stuff, which is probably more of interest to the Dolphins heavy fan base, is mostly Pro Football and Sports Network. So PFSN, ProFootballNetwork.com. My Bears stuff is over at Windy City Gridiron. You can check my Patreon, patreon.com/JacobInfante. That's where you guys can find me. So.
How can we leave here without Super Bowl predictions? I almost forgot.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with you. No, we'll let Jason go first.
Yeah, no.
Or do you want me to go first? I'll go first. I'm going to go 27-20 Seattle. I don't think it's time yet for this. I think the Seattle team's rolling. Depending on MN Warrior, another guy I loved in the draft process, boy, his injury. But I think Seattle takes this 27-20. Whoever wants to go next, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I got 27-21. That's the one that I've got written down. So
we're too aligned on everything.
Yeah, so pretty close. Yeah. I think I'm with you that Seattle defense. I mean, Drake May is an incredible quarterback. I think Seattle's defense is just too talented to not make plays. And the bold prediction is because I wrote this for PFSN the other day, so it's still fresh in my mind. For the first time in the 21st century, I think a running back's going to win Super Bowl MVP. I think Kenneth Walker's going to have 2 touchdowns.
I like it.
Good call.
I'm looking at some bets, so I got to figure something out here. Sorry.
I like that. I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to think that they hit a 30 burger. I'm going to say 30 points for Seattle to 24 for the Patriots. And I'll give you one up. I'm thinking a Kenneth Walker octopus. However that might happen.
Okay.
A rushing touchdown. Let's get that 2-point conversion. It's going on plus 1,700 if you want to throw $10 on it.
Yeah, I think JSN's got good. Boy, JSN is somebody. When you watch him on film, man, it's
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable stuff. So yeah, everybody enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll be back next week after the Super Bowl. One day, hopefully, our Dolphins and your Bears, Jacob might get in there. But everybody enjoy it. Have a safe weekend, and make sure you keep following Finn's Faithful and the Finn's Faithful War Room. I hope you guys like this draft series. Keep following, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. For Jacob, as my phone's ringing as we're trying to get out of here. For Jacob Infante, for Jason Sarney, for myself, stay Finn's Faithful, stay safe, enjoy the Super Bowl, guys. We're out.
Thanks, everybody.